Do you ever feel that you just can't figure out how to kind of crack the code of doing well on a test or a midterm? This is a really common thing that happens, and it happens in a very subtle way. So I want to show you a demonstration of what I see happening with my students, and then how we can sort of address this. So, especially in junior high and elementary school, what really happens from the start of a unit to the test is that there's a lot of support. So if we think of this as a river, we can draw the stepping stones for that type of work kind of very evenly and closely spaced. So if you look at these and think of them as stepping stones, it's really easy to get from the start to the test and do well. They're not big jumps, they're very incremental steps that aren't super hard to do. And so this is sometimes what we get accustomed to being how to do well in a test. But as we get older, and especially into some classes, these start to disappear. So, say you get to 9th grade and this has now created a gap. And how do you get from here to here is not always clear. Or how do you get from this last step to the test? And these often take on a lot of different configurations. And students who understand how to see these gaps and then fill them themselves have a huge strategic advantage in being able to achieve on the test no matter where they start. This is especially true in college. Sometimes colleges look like this, where you probably might not have anything. You might have one midterm, and that's your only indication of how to do well in the test. So it's important to learn strategies for filling these in. And not all strategies look like stepping stones. Sometimes your strategy might be more like a triangle, and you have to learn what pieces fit into here for you. And maybe you can take this whole one and it's a rectangle and you can really fill that gap really quickly. Sometimes there are little dots and you have to work at it. So really understanding how to look at the gap and understand how to strategize around it is very important, and what I really help students work on. So this can take a lot of time. So when students see this gap, often there's a lot of panic. So being able to do these before you start to see a lot of gaps can sometimes be really helpful. And the more gaps you can fill and the more robust you can get across this river on your own, the more independent you can be as a learner, and the more you can achieve what you want on tests without relying on a very well organized set of stepping stones set up by somebody else. If you're interested in this, feel free to email me, and I'm happy to help you strategize around this, because it really is a much more independent way of learning than we set students up for, especially junior high and high school. Okay, thank you.